Yeah, you never know what's going to look like on the big screen, on the small screen. Anyway, what is today? Today is a Tuesday. It's probably the 4th of March, 2014. A whole bunch of shit passing through me. Yeah, that's the last thing that was flowing through me is life is flow. Not a name. It's an action. It's a thing. We all have our own, and that's a fact. Yeah, that too. Yeah, I'm glad my flow is what it is now, but I wouldn't fit in other flows. I would be like not part of what's happening. Could be language too, but you can learn the language. You can learn how to flow with certain flows, but you always got your own. That's where you're going to, based on how you respond to your own flow and that flow that's coming at you from outside of you. I don't know whether it's actually going to see me or not. Maybe like this, maybe. I can't wait for it to warm up. I get really bored. Diane gets bored too. We find ways of dealing with it. I drink and smoke, and she thinks and eats. Talks a lot. I'm sure it don't look too swift, but again, it's a diary, and when spring comes and this ice chest stops and get back to normal. Definitely thinking about, I'm going to point to someplace else. I'm sure I don't look good right about now. Lighting is awful. Now I'm going to make a greenhouse for the back of the house with the fence. Yeah, all kinds of things I want to do. It's a question of how much do I have left after I pay for everything that has to be paid just to be here. And I do have it better than most, Daddy, finally, after 47 years of walking and listening and doing whatever I had to do, she did the same, and together it took both of us. Couldn't have been done by one. And then the whole system had to crash. And they're desperate. Yeah. And we still got screwed for $7,000 because she couldn't afford that one either. And they leaned on the house, said nobody get in the house till they pay us. Yeah. My house, nobody wanted it. Whoever gets it gets the best deal in town. Really. Previous owner died in it, but he made lots of improvements. Then I show up, and I made lots of improvements, and it's still the same price. Yeah, I was hoping to get something back out of that sucker, and it didn't quite work that way. Reading has really big houses. The biggest problem they got is so many people can't earn a living based on what a living cost. The cost of living. What you get paid versus what they charge. That can all be thought about in anybody's head. Everybody's got different life story and flow. But altogether, it's supposed to function. And when it stops functioning, there are reasons. There's many of them. I'm not even going to try and get into it. Somebody had a really good idea yesterday. It's like little house in the prairie thing. Sodden house built into the side of a hill. In the Great Plains, there's a whole lot of temperature change. Build it into the ground, you don't feel it so bad, except when you walk out. You can't do nothing about that. I'm all for it. This was actually a greenhouse dug into a hill. You still walk in on the flat, but the greenhouse is dug into the hill with a clear roof. It works really well from sun goes up in the east, goes down the west. So if sun comes up in front of you and goes down behind you, that's functional. If your house is cockeyed to that, it probably wouldn't work very well. Not enough sunlight. But I was like, I actually have enough room to do that. But there's so many other things I'd like to get done while I'm still alive here. Somebody's going to get another incredible thing for nothing. But the cost of whatever the cost of living is, which is supposedly what they base the price of houses on. It's a very tiny house, but in space this would be captain's quarters. Gonna need me another beer. Yeah, all kinds of improvements. I ain't gonna get into every one of them. That's what I'm thinking about at the moment. It's the middle of winter. I can't do nothing. Her car's frozen in the ground. My other car's stuck in an ice ditch. This one's actually got another slow leak on one of his tires. Jeez. These tires, I had to replace two of them because they were dry rotted and wouldn't hold air. Fought with them for a while. Got a Winter Pike snow tires. Good thing too before this winter happened. Thinking about that gook that has fibers in it. Pump that into your tire and you get a nail through it. That's fine. It ain't gonna leak. Just run them until the tread's out. Don't replace them until then. That's the kind of gook I want. replacing tires just because they can't be, the puncture can't be replaced because it's in the side of your tire. Alright, I'll just put some gunk in it and I won't need to replace my tire. Haven't done it yet. I bought a Fix-A-Flat, which is kind of ridiculous. I also bought a hand pump. Yeah, I can pump up my tire enough to get to a place that's got free air. Some of them charge $1 or more to get air if you need it that bad. That's why I got a hand pump for $7. It ain't gonna fix nothing that's got a big hole in it, but it does work well for a slow leak. If you mount your tires flat, you can pump it up. It's a hell of a lot easier than replacing it with a spare. Actually has a car off. It was pretty warm in here. It doesn't take long for it to cool off though. I think it's down to 25 or 26. Going down to 6. I'll be in a warm house by then. One thing about having a greenhouse, literally inside, I have lots and lots of plants. You're always filling up 2-liter bottles. Not always, but more often than I'm used to. Always making sure everything's got enough water. The greenhouse experts would recommend fertilizer. In nature, things get pissed and shit on by bugs. That's fertilizer. And birds. Water is very solvent. It actually does do what it does, and we couldn't be if it didn't. But outside the house, plants get their fertilizer from every other living thing that's around. Inside they don't. So, yeah, I do understand the need for fertilizer inside. I know it sounds like a nutcase sometimes. I jump around a lot, but I'm looking at the same thing. It's always planet Earth. What am I looking at the moment? Yeah. The ability to understand different points of view is very useful. I can focus on whatever I can see. I don't always do it, especially when I'm doing my diary, but you know, that's how you become an expert at something. It's important that we have experts in all fields. Some of them well, economics say, and history actually says, and I know there's a competition for it, but nonetheless, there is still the fact that history made what is, with all the conflicts, they are necessary, unfortunately. If we didn't have big battles, well, it wouldn't be the way it is now, would it? Global Illumination, I believe, had a post We're the aggressors now, America. Yeah, that's the truth, actually. Nature does that. That's how things change. What thought process is in charge? And there's lots of lobbyists and everything else involved in that nowadays, but it used to be just plain old good and evil. Probably still is a hell of a lot more complex. Good wants to win every battle it can, evil wants to win every battle it can, and it grows. I mean, things just got bigger. I suppose Daddy threw some gifts. Satan couldn't stop him, and always wants to use them too. He's perfectly allowed to do that, of course. Yeah, if I didn't mention it, I did actually message an activist, a geek, a pothead, and a very smart person. And it wasn't me. Isn't that shocking, actually? No, I'd never message myself because I'm always talking to God. No, but nonetheless, it's my diary. I'm allowed to have fun. Brung up Ambit. Said it's very well hyped, but that's really not what you're going to be looking for. Anybody that can sell you anything somehow got your consent to do that. You agreed to be their customer. There's some that will sell you that donut for 25 cents. Some that will sell you that donut for 35 cents. Some that will sell it to you for 30 cents. Some will figure out how to get $1.50 out of you for that donut. They don't keep you for long, but nonetheless, they could probably scam you for once. But utilities, charities run on selling us food most of the time, or just asking for us to give them money. And I think that deregulated utilities is quite something. But it's got to get to the people that have the masses, the followings, that will agree to be their customers at the middle price. And but can't afford to be too high, but it can't afford to be too low either. It's got to be the middle. I'm gonna end up going in there and getting a beer and checking on my shit. Saying hi to Diane too. She likes me to stay in the house all the time, or doing something for her and keeping her entertained. If you don't, I'll eat donuts, something like that. She finds things to do. Generally not very athletic. Most females would rather, at least according to TV, lounge and look beautiful than do something. Not all of you, just so you know, but just what the TV shows me. White Hulk loves you.